millions now living will never die. Perhaps you have heard of this campaign that started in 1918, which included widely advertised talks by Judge Rutherford, tracts, and a brochure. The question all truth seekers should ask themselves over 95 years later is, those millions who heard this message in 1918, where are they now? You might say, wait a minute, wasn't the campaign called Millions Now Living May Never Die? They never said will. The Proclaimer's book says this on page 719, 1918, the discourse, "The world has ended. Millions now living may never die," is first delivered on February 24th in Los Angeles, California. On March 31st, in Boston, Massachusetts, the talk is entitled, "The World Has Ended. Millions Now Living Will Never Die." Therefore, for the first month of the campaign, it was may never die. Afterwards, it was will never die. For how long was this message proclaimed? Page 425 says, what an exciting message they proclaimed. Millions now living will never die. Brother Rutherford had given a discourse on the subject in 1918. It was also the title of a 128-page booklet published in 1920. From 1920 through 1925, that same subject was featured again and again around the world in public meetings in all areas where speakers were available, and in upwards of 30 languages. So I will ask again, those millions who were told they would never die, where are they now? You might say, oh, they didn't mean now, as in the 1918 era. They meant whenever the end does come. Millions now living will never die at that time. Is that what was meant? Have you read the 128-page booklet published in 1920 to find out exactly what was meant? Perhaps a hard-to-obtain 128-page booklet is a little daunting to read. Let's settle on a simple track that was part of the Millions campaign to understand exactly what the message was. The message of the hour, millions now living will never die. You may be one of them. Do these things appeal to you? Unending human life, perpetual health, lasting and satisfying political adjustments, comprehensive economic arrangements, no more fear of the landlord, the doctor, the sheriff, the employer, of evil men and angels, of vicious animals, of dependent old age, no more blindness, lameness, deafness, dumbness, no more bald heads, glass eyes, false teeth, or wooden legs, no more sickness, disease, or pestilence, no more ignorance or superstition, no more sorrow, no more tears. No, we are not trifling. These things and more are absolutely sure because promised by the Word of God. The world has already ended in the Bible in only proper sense of that term, and the anti-typical Jubilee, Earth's time of restitution, its springtime, begins to count in 1926. When that time comes, all the above blessings will not come instantaneously, but will come speedily on all those who live through the next 5 or 6 years of trouble. Suppose 9 of every 10 people now living on earth should die of famine, pestilence, customary disease, and violence during the next 5 years. Surely a much too extreme estimate. There would still be living 160 million people to be the first human beneficiaries of the promise of Jesus. Whoever liveth and believeth on me shall never die. Yes, the Millions campaign was pointing to the year 1925 as the year these promises would come about. This is why the title of the talk and brochure was so definite. The world has ended. Millions now living will never die. Did the world end? Did a new one begin? Of the many millions living from 1918 to 1925, did this statement come true? Where are those millions? Was this message of God, or was it presumptuous? Was this message put at the proper time? Was it faithful? Was it discreet? This message started to be proclaimed in 1918. In 1919, would Christ really have appointed the proclaimers of this message his slave or steward over his domestics?